Hello YouTube. The new Wuwa meets Yu-Gi-Oh meets Pokemon event in Wuwa dropped today. And this thing is pretty hard, especially late game when you're like me and you just want to get all the missions done. The challenge missions can be pretty tedious to deal with, especially since most characters and enemies at this point are just blatantly straight up cheating by having like double the HP that you have, as well as pulling like 3 times more cards than you. It's really annoying, and especially the fame challenge can get insanely rage inducing, getting to 1000 fame when you are actively losing and you don't want to grind the easy mode because the hard one gives way more fame. So today I'm going to show you a deck and a strategy that is going to essentially make pretty much any battle in this mode irrelevant. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh, it's the equivalent of basically an FTK Exodia deck. We plan on beating our enemy in turn 2 to 3. And yeah, I'm just going to show off the deck, show you how it's done, and yeah, hopefully this is going to help some people get those challenges done, especially people that don't care about this mode and just want all the rewards. So, I'm going to try it in Endless Challenge in the difficult one, and I'm going to show it off there. So the deck is a Fallacy Transform deck, which essentially looks like this. I'm going to scroll down. Feel free to pause the video and rebuild it. The entire point of this is essentially stacking up an infinite amount of damage by using transform and draw loops, and then just winning one round while the enemy is still weak, while you have a completely cracked board, and just one-shot the HP bar. I'm going to explain how to play this deck and how it works. But just before that, that's the deck. As for your duelist, you 100% want to use Yugioh. As I said, it's an FTK Exodia deck, which means this thing can be pretty bricky. I still think this is like the most consistent deck I found that you somehow could use, but it's still pretty bad. You 100% want to use Yugioh simply because of his passive, which is going to give you one additional card at the start of the first 3 turns. We don't plan on fighting or playing the game after 3 turns. Chances are, if you don't finish the duel by round 3, you're probably losing. So yeah, we're going to do that, and yeah, I'm just going to jump in and show you how to play this deck and what to look out for. So, starting hand, we want a Havoc Warrior in our starting hand. Chances are you're not going to get him. You have 20 cards in your deck, and you're playing one Havoc Warrior. So what you want to do is essentially throw away any card that doesn't let you draw, and swap it out in hopes of getting one. It doesn't matter what the enemy does. No matter how much they are cheating, chances are they can't completely break the board turn 1. If you transform 5 times, you are going to get Fallacy. So, in this case, I still don't have a Havoc Warrior, but I have, for example, a Diggy Duggy. If I transform, I draw 3 cards. It's Pot of Greed on steroids. And there's the Havoc Warrior. Great. So now we have Havoc Warrior. What's next? So, the core strategy, what you want to get is, you want a Havoc Warrior. The Havoc Warrior is going to make it so that you can stack an infinite amount of cards on top of each other. And you want to stack on it at least 1 Lottie Lost. There's no point in stacking more than 1. And 3 of these Nimbus Wraiths. So, I'm going to activate the Saber Boar. It's going to give me 3 more energy. And I'm going to summon the Havoc Warrior. And I'm going to summon the Nimbus Wraith, because I need 3 Nimbus Wraiths on it. I'm going to summon the Scorpion. That's going to draw me 3 additional cards. I'm feeling like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh player again. We're going to transform this thing. This thing is going to let me choose 1 out of 3 1-cost cards. And at this point, it's pretty clear I'm not getting the Lottie Lost. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stack a second Nimbus Wraith on it. So we now just need 1 Lottie Lost and 1 more Nimbus Wraith. I'm going to draw 2 more cards. Not going to get it. I'm going to keep on trying. And at this point, another Duggy Dug. Yeah. Keep in mind, I've now used Transform 4 times. The moment I do it 6 times, I'm going to get Fallacy as well. So that's also something to keep out for. And here's the fun Nimbus Rave. So now we just need the Lottie Lost and we're done. So I'm going to give up. This is turn 1. You cannot kill the enemy on turn 1. The odds of doing that are minimal. So we're just going to keep on going. We're going to let the round play out. It does not matter whether we lose. It really does not. You're normally going to lose since, well, you only have 1 unit on the field and it's 1 cost. So just by having raw numbers advantage, we're going to lose. It does not matter. Now, this is the turn where we either want to get super close to winning or just straight up win, depending on our luck. As you can see, still no Lottie Lost, despite us only having like 9 cards. And this is getting pretty bad, but as you can see, there it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw these 2 knights away. We're going to place the Lottie Lost on it, and we're going to do this, draw 2 additional cards. And now I can explain the strategy. So as you can see, every time I stack a card on top of each other, the damage number goes up by 1. If this thing survives by the end of the turn, that means that the enemy, in this case, would take 16 damage. If I use transform one more time, actually, let me do exactly that. We're going to transform. We're going to pull this thing. I'm going to put back this thing. So, here's the thing. Every time I use transform, right, I trigger the conversion that I got from Lottie Lost. Each time you use transform, you draw a card and then put a hand card back to the deck. This is pretty good. It just increases the draw efficiency and the chance of you actually getting what you need to keep the loop going. But then here's the big one. Since we used 3 Nimbus Raves, every time I use a transform card, I gain 3 energy back. This is crazy. So if I use transform here, I'm going to draw a card, put another card back into my deck, and get 3 energy while only using 1. I'm going to draw another 2 cards here. We're going to use the Saber Boar, because now we've used transform 6 times, which means we get Fallacy of No Return in our hand. You can just summon this thing. We put this thing into the backline. And you already see where this is going. Every time I use transform, Fallacy gets stronger. We are round 2, meaning that the enemy spot is pretty weak. A Fallacy buffed by like 2 transform cards is going to completely eviscerate the field, and this thing is going to survive. Fallacy deals 8 damage to the enemy when it survives. Our enemy is 45 HP. That means that if we can stack another 20 cards on top of this one, we essentially win on round 2. But here's the thing. Every time you use a transform card, that card disappears permanently from your deck. Except the Earnest Knight. The Earnest Knight says, this echo will not be consumed when transformed, but instead shuffled back to the deck. So we use the Earnest Knight, put back this thing, and as you can see, we use transform. Fallacy gets stronger. We do that again. Throw back the Nimbus Rave. Throw back this thing, and here are our draw cards. We put this thing on it, we draw another 2 cards. Put it back on, draw another 2 cards. Use the Earnest Knight, we get the Scorpion, we can now draw another 2 cards. As you can see, I'm basically getting a loop going at this point, where I can just infinitely draw. Use the Earnest Knight, put back another trash card, put the Scorpion back on, draw another 2 cards. Put the Scorpion back on, draw another 2 cards. I don't have energy, doesn't matter. I can just recycle these cards, put the Earnest Knight there, and this is the big one. This is a big one. This is important. If you don't keep this in mind, you're going to fuck this up. I just use a Earnest Knight, and he's asking me which card from my hand do I want to return to my deck. I can choose 2 Earnest Knights, but 1 is not on my hand. The reason, I have no idea why this happens, but essentially because I'm draw looping with so little cards, the mode somehow bugs out and cards in my hand become invisible. This means if both of your Diurnus Knights become invisible and you don't do anything against it, you will not be able to pump up the combat value of your fallacy anymore. So what you want to do here is return the Diurnus Knight that is bugged. In this case, right, Nimbus Wraith, the bird, Diurnus Knight, so that means this Diurnus Knight is the visible one, Scorpion, and then I apparently have another Diurnus Knight next to the Scorpion. I don't, so I'm going to return that. As you can see, nothing happens. Return this one. And as you can see, the hand is already starting to bug out with the card positioning. You can fix it by returning the bugged cards. And just keep going. This is the idea. Now, as you can see, we don't have anything to draw, but we still have our some of the transform cards. And there's another Scorpion. Put back the Nimbus Wraith. Put down another Scorpion. Draw another 2 cards. Put this thing down. Honestly, does not matter. Pull back a Lottie Lost. And by using these other transform cards, we are again reducing the number of cards in our decks. So now, as you can see, the odds are getting higher and higher for me to pull some of the draw cards. Since I have 2 of these Vanguard Junk Rocks, 2 of the Scorpions, that's already 4 cards. Then I have another 3 here. So it's just these 3 cards, these 3, and then the Diurnus Knights. And there they are. So I then put back the Nimbus Wraith. Put back the Havoc Warrior. Put back, you know, another, you already know the drill. And as you can see, I can just keep this loop going. Essentially, basically infinite. Right. That's the entire gist of it. And by this point, the game is essentially over, right? What you can do now, I have Fallacy on 8, this thing on 38, that's 46, which means we are essentially winning. I can now just put this knight in, just to make sure, because he's tankier, and we just say fight. This Fallacy is like 60 combat power, insane HP, but as you can see, it's one-shotting everything. And that's it. And we won round 2. Essentially just that easy. 45 damage. Game done. And it's over. You get 200 flag points per this, so 1 more and I'm finally done with the challenge. And yeah. This is like the most consistent thing I managed to find. You can obviously try to play the game however you want. But if you just want to get the rewards as fast as possible and be done with the event, I am willing to assume that this is pretty much going to be the most consistent thing. If someone finds something better, feel free to share it with the others in the comments. But yeah, that's going to be all from me. I hope this video was helpful and I'm going to see you in the next one.